This is the newsroom for Friday, March 5, 2021. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarzi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, construction will commence this Sunday on a US $15 million boutique hotel on Robb and Oronoque streets in Georgetown. With some 130 children currently on a wait list, Guyana will again begin pediatric cardiac surgeries at the Georgetown Public Hospital this year.
By the end of the year, we will be able to bring in a specialist team to be able to do the cardiac surgery.
A local doctor is on a mission to help couples get pregnant. An alleged serial rapist who is accused of brutalizing a Venezuelan national is remanded to prison. And in sport, President's softball T20 Cup bowls off in Georgetown, and Kevin Sinclair's journey to international cricket started at age 8. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. We're glad you can join us. First up, construction will begin on Sunday, March 7 on a US $15 million first of its kind boutique hotel on Robb and Oronoque streets in Georgetown under the name Eden Hotel. The hotel will be the 12th Eden Hotel by Best Western Worldwide and the first for the Caribbean and South America. The hotel is being developed by two local Guyanese businessmen. Isanella Patwa has her story.
A boutique hotel is typically a petite hotel with a modern contemporary vibe and rich local culture which focuses on food, beverage, and entertainment. Geraldo Alfonso is developing the hotel with his brother under the company Arimo Investments Inc., a local Guyanese company. The multi-million investment also comes under the Best Western Hotel and Resort franchise. Alfonso, during an interview with the Newsroom, explained that Arimo Investments Inc. has acquired two hotel brands under the franchise, the Eden Hotel and Shore Stay Plus Hotel. The Shore Stay Plus Hotel will be constructed once the Eden Hotel is completed. Alfonso, who also operates the Innovations America store in Georgetown, said he saw the investment opportunity for hotels in Guyana with the growing demand for accommodation. This new hotel is expected to bring in jobs, tourism, and business.
A boutique hotel, per se, is a very flashy, modern, let's say colorful hotel. It's usually affiliated with a theme. Like, you wouldn't go to a boutique hotel and see white walls and a plain surrounding. There would be colorful walls. It would be themed, let's say, maybe by an artist, maybe by a country, maybe by a popular city. So it's more so a hotel that appeals to, I would say, the millennials.
Once completed, the 9-story modern building promises executive dining and business services, along with second-to-none hospitality services.
So we have a couple unique points about this hotel. One is the first franchised boutique hotel in the middle of Georgetown, Guyana. That's unique by itself. The building will boast 9 stories. I think the modern architecture of the building should stand out. It's going to be the only building to this date that has modern architecture of such. I'm hoping we would go places, Guyana would actually, and this would become somewhat a standard building. And apart from that, we've pledged in our company's budget a sum towards training and, hospitality courses for our staff that we will be employing. And I think the service that we should be able to provide should definitely be second to none.
According to Alfonso, the central location of the hotel is ideal for a traveler who not only has a car but someone that can traverse by foot. A 3-level secure parking garage is also being constructed next to the hotel. During the construction phase, some 150 Guyanese will be employed, and upon completion, no less than 50 Guyanese will be on staff. A local Guyanese company, Build Smart Construction and Supplies Incorporated, will be constructing the hotel.
We really did spend some time and some thought with regards to trying to have as much Guyanese as we can employed in this project to promote somewhat our local content with the hotel industry.
Additionally, the hotel will also be providing chauffeur services, shuttle bus tours around Georgetown, Demerara River tours, along with helicopter tours around the city. The official sod turning ceremony will be held on Saturday, March 6, 2021. Given Guyana's booming oil and gas sector, it was recently reported that close to $1 billion will soon be injected into the economy in the form of world-class hotels which will be constructed across the country. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Patwo.
Thank you, Isanella. We tell you now that with the 2021 national budget passed in the National Assembly on Thursday, Senior Minister with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, says all government agencies and ministries must now change gears to ensure that the initiatives, measures and projects outlined in the fiscal plan are implemented. The minister said his expectation is that the projects and programs will be implemented swiftly and with the highest level of effectiveness. Despite initial disruptions from the opposition APNU-AFC coalition, Dr. Singh said he was satisfied that the budget was eventually passed and now the government can proceed with its implementation. The budget was approved to the tune of $353.8 billion, although it was initially read for $383.1 billion. The remaining $29.2 billion was excluded but is chargeable by law as detailed and summarized in the schedule. A large part of that $29.2 billion will be used to service debts but does not need to be included in the appropriation bill. Here is Dr. Singh.
My message to the budget agencies, the various ministries and other agencies would be that it is now time for us to proceed with implementation as swiftly as possible and as effectively as possible. And that would be, perhaps coming out of the budget process. I guess looking ahead now, I would want to urge all of the budget agencies to move swiftly now to start implementing the various initiatives and projects that are contained in the budget. Look, there's a lot that is extremely positive about Budget 2021. It has a number of very important initiatives, not just the direct measures, but the budget is all about literally investing in every sector, investing in physical infrastructure, roads, bridges, airstrips, delivery of health through the public healthcare system, delivery of quality education services, in the increases that we mentioned, the various direct benefits, increase in old age pension, increase in public assistance, the various tax measures that we had announced. The budget is about all of these various elements, and I think Budget 2021 has a lot that is extremely positive for the economy.
Meanwhile, Dr. Singh, however, registered his disappointment that the APNU-AFC coalition chose in the first instance to delay and stymie the consideration of the 2021 budget estimates and then withdraw altogether from the process. Dr. Singh said Budget 2021 is important because it not only puts Guyanese back on their feet after the incidents of 2020, but it also allows for a full resumption of economic activity. Alleged serial rapist Thurston Stemple was on Friday remanded to prison for the alleged rape and gruesome attack on a 30-year-old Venezuelan sex worker. Stemple, a 38-year-old taxi driver at Tocqueville Terrace, Georgetown, appeared before Chief Magistrate Ann McLennan at the Georgetown Magistrates Court and was not required to plead to the charge. Particulars of the charge alleged that between February 24 and 25, 2021, at Georgetown, he engaged in sexual intercourse with the victim without her consent. According to reports, the victim was raped, sodomized, and beaten by Stemple at his home after they left a nightclub located at the corner of Robb and Cumming Street, Georgetown. It is alleged that Stemple became abusive towards the victim after she refused to perform a sex act on him. It is alleged that Stemple picked up a knife and placed it to the victim's neck and demanded her to do it. He also dealt her several cuffs about her body. The victim escaped through a window and raised an alarm. Neighbors alerted the police and the victim was rescued by the ranks. Some of the injuries the victims received include a fractured rib, multiple concussions, and lacerations about her body. The prosecutor objected to Stemple being released on bail since he has pending cases before the court and is currently under investigation for similar crimes. Stemple is also on bail awaiting trial at the High Court for 3 counts of rape. The Chief Magistrate remanded Stemple to prison until March 11, 2021. When the newsroom returns with some 130 children currently on a wait list, Guyana will again begin pediatric cardiac surgeries at the Georgetown Public Hospital this year. And the local doctor is on a mission to help couples get pregnant. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the newsroom. Former Municipal Councillor for Region 10, Lennox Gasper, has resigned with immediate effect from the People's National Congress Reform, the largest party in the APNU-AFC opposition coalition. In his resignation letter sent to PNCR General Secretary Amna Ali, Gasper cited a series of disappointing incidents he witnessed while he served at the party level, including what he described as the barefaced attempt to rig the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections. Even as the country reflects this week on the dreadful events post-March 2nd, Gasper said he is fully persuaded that the actions of the PNC-led coalition in the aftermath of the 2020 general and regional elections were born out of a selfish and unbridled lust for power without any regard for the interests of Guyana and its citizens. Gasper said he was also saddened because he was in high hopes that the coalition would have implemented a rapid development rescue plan for Linden. He explained in his lengthy resignation letter that he became a councillor at the Linden Mayor and Town Council with a promise to serve his constituent, but regretfully could not deliver on that promise as a result of the constraints of controlled freakism imposed by the party and the heartless non-provision of resources by the government. He accused the coalition of disgracefully abandoning the mining town, a stronghold of the PNCR. A 32-year-old taxi driver was on Friday found guilty by a 12-member jury of raping a 12-year-old girl in 2019. Sahadio Puran, known as Umesh, was on trial before Justice Joanne Barlow at the Demerara High Court for the offense, which stated that on September 27, 2019, he engaged in sexual penetration with a child who is under the age of 16. After the jury delivered the unanimous guilty verdict, Justice Barlow remanded Puran to jail until he is sentenced on March 24, 2021. The judge also ordered that a probation report is prepared in his favor. The state was represented by prosecutors Sarah Martin and Nafisa Beg, while Puran was represented by attorney-at-law Euclid Gomes. Local specialist consultant in obstetrics and gynecology, Dr. Rafi Rosan, has opened his own private clinic and now offers modern therapeutic treatment to address infertility in Guyana. During an interview with the Newsroom's Isadella Patwa, Dr. Rosan explains how we can help couples conceive and become parents.
The most common cause for infertility in females is not being able to ovulate and produce eggs. And when it comes to males, the most common cause is alteration to the concentration of the sperm, resulting in low sperm count. But one local specialist consultant in obstetrics and gynecology, Dr. Rafi Rasan, has a plan to address these issues. Dr. Rasan opened his private clinic, My OBGYN Inc., last year, March, in an effort to help address issues of infertility in Guyana and provide reproductive health services at the primary health care level.
So here we are able to identify those issues and remedy the issues with regards to what it is. So if it is, for example, a patient with anovulation, a patient who's unable to produce an egg and been trying for a few years, then we are able to put those patients on ovulation inductors medications. There's a wide range of ovulation inductor medication that can be used, but when guided correctly, you can have successful ovulation for that patient. With regards to infertility cases, I've had success in quite a number of individuals. We have actually had our firstborn baby from an IUI last January, which was 2 months ago.
Dr. Rasan is offering intrauterine insemination. This is where sperm is collected and placed directly inside the woman's uterus while they are ovulating. Data from the World Health Organization shows that 1 in every 4 couples have issues with getting pregnant.
There's definitely a major issue with reproductive health, and I think I can successfully start giving services towards that aim. So when it comes to low complexity infertility, one of the things that we can do is intrauterine insemination, in that we counsel the entire couple we diagnose if there is a female component or a male component. Do know that 40% of the time it's a female issue, 40% of the time it's a male issue, and then you can have what is a mixed problem in that both males and females combined can have issues.
Dr. Rissan explained that while there has been an influx of patients seeking the service, the challenge have been to get males to come on board with the treatment. The clinic, which is located on Common Street, Georgetown, also offers video colposcopy, where the patient participates in the diagnosis and screening.
There's actually a monitor which the patient can actually see and identify exactly if there is a presence or absence of a lesion, or if there's any abnormality with regards to the cervix. So yes, those services are offered here.
The clinic also offers services such as laser vaginal rejuvenation and reconstructive vaginal surgery. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Patwo.
With some 130 children currently on a wait list for pediatric cardiac surgeries, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony has assured that those surgeries will restart locally this year. Once it recommences, some 20 children are expected to be attended to before the end of the year at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. Dr. Anthony said it was unfortunate that the program was brought to an end, forcing children to seek this type of medical service overseas at relatively high prices, ranging between US $30,000 to US $50,000. Here is Dr. Anthony.
We have stopped that program in Guyana. We had it a couple of years ago, where we had a team of overseas doctors would come in at least once a year, and they would work along with the local staff here to do those surgeries. So we built capacity, and we were able to do some amount of surgery here. And then a couple of years ago, that program was stopped, which led to a backlog of patients. And of course, if you have to do a surgery like this in America or Canada, it's a very expensive surgery. So for example, it would cost maybe between $30,000 to $50,000 US per patient to do these surgeries in the US or Canada. Over the last 2 years or so, we were only able to send maybe about 5 children. 1 went to the United States, 4 went to Cuba. Of the 4 that went to Cuba, I think one of the patients, while they had a very successful surgery, one of them died. So that has been challenging both for the parents, obviously, and all of us. So it is a challenge for us to really pay. It would cost us more in the long run to try to pay for these surgeries and send children abroad, rather than being able to do those cases here, do those surgeries here. So I have, over the last couple of months, I've been talking to the cardiac team that was here before and that was performing these surgeries. And they have agreed to come back to Guyana starting this year. They would have to make an appraisal of the types of equipment that we currently have at the Georgetown Public Hospital. We'll have to buy a lot of the equipment and bring it in. And then by the end of the year, we'll be able to bring in a specialist team to be able to do the cardiac surgery. We're expecting that this year, more closer to the end of the year, that we'll be able to do at least 20 cases.
Meanwhile, the health minister said the government is looking to complete the design for a new maternal and children hospital this year. Authorities are currently in discussion with bilateral partners to develop the facility, which once completed, specialized programs would become part of the services offered. 2 days after ranks of the Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit CANU intercepted 25 parcels of marijuana with a total weight of 99 pounds, a man and a woman have been remanded to prison. Versami Armagon called Vishal of Crab Creek, Quarantine, Berbice, and Alma John of Glasgow Village East Bank, Berbice, were both charged with the offense of trafficking narcotics. They appeared before Berbice Magistrate Renita Singh on Friday via a Zoom hearing. Defense counsel Keoma Griffith made a vigorous application for bail on behalf of his client Armagon, while John did not have legal representation. The magistrate, however, considered bail for both defendants, but ultimately denied the requests and remanded them. The matter was adjourned to March 26, 2021 for the prosecution to disclose statements. Armagon is accused of being the principal offender who made arrangements with several persons to procure the trafficking in narcotics, according to a release from Kanu. One of the persons he reached out to was his co-accused, John, who stored the narcotics at her home. According to Kanu, John actually wheeled the narcotics using a wheelbarrow out to the vehicle and assisted to load same into its trunk. She is the mother of 3 children and appeared very emotional at her hearing, the Kanu release noted. When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport. Welcome back to the newsroom now for a look at what's happening in sport. We start things off with some softball news. The inaugural President's Softball T20 Cup bowled off in the city on Friday morning with several top softball teams commencing the battle for top honors in 3 categories. The tournament, organized by the Georgetown Softball Cricket League Incorporated, has been granted approval by the COVID-19 Task Force. Akim Green reports.
Several matches across 6 city grounds marked the start of the tournament, which caters for 24 teams equally divided across the 3 categories. By the end of Friday, each team would have played at least 2 matches, and some would already be out of contention for a place in the semi-finals on Saturday. A visit at Everest Cricket Club ground saw a mobile sanitization unit for persons entering the venue. One of the victorious teams was Regal Masters in over 40, topping Curriverton Masters in the opening contest. The Regal Camp said they're happy with their start and aim is to reach the final and take the title after the shortcomings in other tournaments.
We have some good quality players now, and I think that we will go the distance this time.
Early days yet, but how you feel about the performance thus far in this President's Tournament?
Yeah, well, we chase 190 and we won the game easy because we get it in 17 overs. So I think that, we're going to do better with the lesser opponent. This was a very good opponent, the Borby's team. It's a very good team. The feeling has always been the problem, If we feel well, we'll win the game easier because, like I say, we have good bowlers, we got good batsmen, and these players were good players in the younger age, so much less when they turn it over into the over 40 league, So I think that we'll go the distance.
The other categories contested were All-Stars, Open, and over 50 Legends. All semi-finals will be played Saturday and the finals on Sunday at Everest. The 3-day tournament is a collaboration between the Georgetown Softball Cricket League Inc. and Guyana's Honorary Consul to Florida, Ramzan Roshan Ali. Winning teams in each of the 3 categories will pocket $500,000 and runners-up $100,000, while prizes will be awarded to Man of the Match and Man of the Series. For the newsroom, Akim Green.
Now here is Avinash Ramzan with the rest of tonight's Sportcast.
We tell you now that Carlton Sinclair, the grandfather of West Indies T20 player Kevin Sinclair, stated that when Kevin was 8, they drafted a plan for him to reach to the top. Akim Green spoke to the proud granddad and filed this report.
21-year-old Kevin Sinclair moved to live with his grandfather when he was the age of 8 in Angois Avenue, New Amsterdam. Since then, his elder Sinclair spotted talent in the young man and immediately began dedicating his time towards molding an international player. Prior to making his international debut, Kevin Sinclair dedicated all of his success to his grandfather.
Since he was about 8 years old, the father come and live alongside me, and I see like this by the cricketing thing in me, and was always to them. So, he was the smallest in the set that I had. And I just have children over the coast. 2 of them used to just playing cricket. So I collect a bat and I put the bat, they call them hiding lanes to suit them, And then I got to the secretary of the Bobby's cricket board, and she said, my cousin, she gave me a brand new bat and a ball. She said, go right here, Miss and so on. So, and then Mr. Moore, you know Mr. Moore? Carl Moore. Carl Moore, I would go around Carl Moore and get some old bat and one old pad. And he saw, really.
The elder Sinclair, who is now 73 years of age, said that it was the most pleasing sight to see the youngster play for West Indies, since that was the plan they always scripted.
To tell you the truth, me and he, we used to sit down and draft out plan. Draft this thing out, I draft this thing out on my TV. But it's only that he used to want to do the opposite. You know, he own way, want his own thing. But at least, you know, you must relate it to know that, well, at least he make it. Because that was the desire and me too.
According to Carlton, who has played the sport in his younger days in Berbice, then spent 15 years as a special constable in the Guyana Police Force, his grandson's work ethics will take him far in the sport.
He work ethic. His work ethic. All the morning I used to there working by a school, and he get up 5 o'clock, and he there by the school, and we there in the bus shed. And he said we walk into by 8 o'clock when we finish there. He said when he go home and start preparing for go to school, he work ethic. Once he tell you, anything he tell you after cricket, he just tell you.
While his Kevin started bowling from the 2019 Super 50 to the Caribbean Premier League in 2020 to this year's Super 50 that has caught the eye of many, Carlton said the world has yet to see how good Kevin is with the bat.
This guy could bat more than what he could bowl. But he just keep throwing away wickets. He get a six hit mentality. He developed. He means for hit big six. Mean train either way. He could bat. That guy could bat. And he would surprise and shock the world if he really make up his mind for bat. Nobody can out him. But this six-hit mentality was planted in this guy. If you look, you will see he's going to throw away wicket. He's throwing away wicket. He would shot them then tomorrow when he go start for really bad.
Sinclair bowled 3 overs on his international debut for West Indies in Wednesday's match in Antigua and took 1 for 26. Based on the captain's comments about the reluctance for constant chopping and changing, the Guyanese should feature in the second T20 International on Friday evening. For the newsroom, Akim Green.
Now, Rishabh Pant's dazzling century ensured India repelled a Ben Stokes-led England fight back on a compelling second day of the 4th and final test in Ahmedabad. In extreme heat, Stokes' huge effort brought the wickets of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma to help reduce India to 146 for 6 in reply to England's 205. But Pant counter-attacked it in thrilling style, climbing into a tiring England attack for 101 off 118 balls with 13 fours and 2 sixes. Pant shared a 7-wicket stand of 113 with Washington Sundar, who remained unbeaten on 60, as India reached 294 for 7, 89 runs ahead. Leading 2-1, India need to avoid defeat to win the series and secure a meeting with New Zealand in the World Test Championship final. And Temba Bavuma has become the first black African to permanently captain a South Africa side after being appointed their limited overs captain. Bavuma, 30, will lead the Proteas in the next 2 T20 World Cups later this year and in 2022, and the next 50-over World Cup in 2023. Opener Dean Elgar, 33, has been named Test captain for the next cycle of the World Test Championship. Bavuma and Elgar replaced wicketkeeper Quinton de Kock, who held the T20 and One-Day international captaincy roles since last January and was named temporary Test skipper in December.
And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. On behalf of the news and technical teams, I'm Kurt Campbell saying have a pleasant rest of the evening.